I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call, oh, I shall call, I shall call. Darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth.
Coming up, we bring a special report on the fragile ceasefire in the Middle East, with tension on the rise and concerns about what comes next. Then we head to the Gambia, exploring the wildlife of the Bijilo Monkey Park. All that and more coming up this week.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a brand new episode of RoundUp, a show where we bring you the latest news and updates from all around the world. Yasir, how's your week been so far?
Alhamdulillah, I'm just been taking some time off, but it's funny how life picks up pace again. One moment you're slowing down and reflecting, and the next you're back to the usual rush.
Exactly. And speaking of that, we've got a really interesting lineup today. So let's not waste any time and head straight to the headlines. Assalamu alaikum Jazib, how are you doing today?
Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. Let's get straight into the headlines. Artemis 2 returned to Earth on Friday after a historic week in space, with the first crewed mission to the moon since 1972, successfully completing its lunar flyby. 4 astronauts spent around 10 days in deep space, travelling further than any humans before, reaching roughly 252,000 miles and surpassing Apollo 13. The crew entered the moon's gravitational sphere, experienced a brief communications blackout and captured unprecedented views before Orion began re-entry ahead of splashdown. Jerusalem's sacred sites, the Western Wall, Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Church of Holy Sepulchre have reopened after a 40-day closure imposed over security concerns during Israel's conflict with Iran. Worshippers from all 3 faiths returned in large numbers, offering prayers of gratitude. The reopening followed a ceasefire announcement, bringing cautious relief to the city ahead of Sunday gatherings. Greece is set to become the first European country to ban social media use for under 15s, with rules expected from 2027. The move follows similar action in Australia, where strict limits on young users have already been introduced. Greek officials say the policy aims to tackle rising anxiety, sleep problems, and online harm among children, while pushing for wider protections across Europe. The Museum of Edible Earth exhibition is inviting visitors to explore geophagy, the centuries-old practice of eating the earth itself. Featuring samples from over 40 countries, guests can taste mineral-rich soils while learning about their culture and medicinal significance. The exhibition offers a unique, thought-provoking experience, running in London until late April. Smart window cleaning robots are gaining popularity across China, transforming a once difficult and risky task into an efficient, automated process. Widely used in homes and businesses, the devices are helping to reduce workload and improve safety, particularly for high-rise buildings. With rising sales and growing demand for rental services, the technology is quickly becoming a practical solution for modern cleaning needs. That's all from me at the news desk. Back to you, Nasser and Yasser. Bye.
Jazakallah for those headlines. However, one key story takes us straight into the conflict zone, where tensions remain high despite a recently announced ceasefire.
That's right. A temporary 2-week ceasefire has been agreed, but many are questioning how long it would actually last.
As part of efforts to ease tensions, key talks between the United States and Iran took place in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, with tight security in place and only authorized access allowed.
And for people on the ground, the impact goes far beyond politics. It's about safety, stability, and the hope for peace in a time of uncertainty. So let's take a closer look.
Assalamu alaikum.
A fragile 2-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran has been agreed, with both countries claiming victory, bringing a pause to more than a month of intense fighting. However, the situation is far from settled. The conflict began after the United States and Israel launched coordinated attacks on Iran, leading to weeks of airstrikes, missile attacks, and major disruption across the Middle East. It's also caused concern worldwide by affecting oil supplies. US President Donald Trump warned that a whole civilization could die if Iran did not reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial route for global oil shipping. Reports show over 3,000 people were killed, including civilians and soldiers, with thousands more injured and widespread damage to buildings and infrastructure. The ceasefire was confirmed on Wednesday by Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who helped mediate the talks. Under the agreement, the US paused its military operations, while Iran agreed to allow shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz again. Despite the ceasefire, both sides presented very different versions of events. US officials said that their actions forced Iran into negotiations and weakened its military strength, while Iranian leaders said the US had backed down and people in Iran celebrated what they saw as a national victory.
दुनिया के हालात और ख़ास तौर पर मुस्लिम दुनिया के हालात के लिए पता ही हर एक को क्या हो रहे हैं, बहुत दुआ की ज़रूरत है। जंग बंदी कहने को तो हुई है, लेकिन ये देर पा नज़र नहीं आती, बल्कि अभी से दरारें पड़नी शुरू हो चुकी हैं। इसमें इसराइली हुकूमत की कोशिश है कि किसी तरह लबनान पर हमला करके ईरानियों को भी इश्तियाल दिलाए और वो जवाब दें। अब तो बाज़ यूरोपियन लीडरों ने भी उसके इस फेल की मजम्मत की है, कोई तो आवाज़ उठाई, कम से कम कुछ ना कुछ तो अखलाक का इजहार किया है इन लोगों ने, लेकिन ये यहीं तक रहेंगे, इतना ही अखलाक है इनमें। इससे ज़्यादा ये ना ये कोशिश करना चाहते हैं, ना इनमें ज़रूरत है और ताकत है। बहरहाल हमें दुआ करनी चाहिए, अल्लाह ताला मुसलमान दुनिया पर रहम फरमाए।
One major disagreement about whether Lebanon is part of the ceasefire or not. Israel launched some of its largest airstrikes of the war in Lebanon, targeting the armed group Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran, hitting dozens of targets and killing more than 250 people. The US and Israel believe the ceasefire only covers direct US-Iran fighting. However, from Iran's point of view, attacks on Hezbollah are seen as part of a wider conflict involving its allies in the region, saying it's a violation of the ceasefire and have warned that they can withdraw from the agreement entirely if attacks do not stop. Israel has defended the attacks, saying they are still necessary even with the ceasefire in place, saying these attacks are aimed at Hezbollah, which they see as a major threat to their security. Pakistan has spoken out strongly about the situation, condemning the airstrikes and saying they are dangerous and unacceptable, and that the ceasefire should lead to real de-escalation across the whole region, not just between certain countries. Pakistan's foreign minister wrote on X, stating that the US must choose between a ceasefire or a continued war through Israel. It cannot have both. The world sees the massacres in Lebanon. The ball is in the US court. With tensions flared up again in the Middle East, ships travelling through the Strait of Hormuz have been stopped. Iran has announced a halt to all oil tanker traffic through the strait. As a result, more than 1,000 ships are currently stranded in the sea. The ceasefire remains fragile, with the situation across the Middle East still highly unstable. Tensions between the two countries remain high, with conflicting claims, continued airstrikes, and disruption to vital oil routes all pointing to an agreement that could collapse at any moment. Experts say this is not a clear victory for either side, but rather a temporary pause in an already tense situation. Let's keep praying that there is a continued path towards a peaceful resolution. Jazakallah. Jazakallah for that insight. It's a powerful reminder of how complex these situations are and how important it is to stay informed.
Absolutely. And it also reminds us of the human impact behind every headline.
That's right. But next, we turn to something more reflective, a summary of this week's Friday sermon.
It's a chance for us to pause, reflect, and take lessons we can apply in our daily lives. So let's take a look.
In this week's Friday sermon, beloved Hazur, Ayatollah Hudala bin Asra al-Aziz focused on one powerful message, the absolute unity of God and how we can live that in our daily lives. Hazur shared examples from the life of the Promised Messiah, alayhi salam, He showed complete trust in God, even in the most difficult moments. For example, when his young son passed away, instead of questioning God, he showed patience and said that everything belongs to Allah. It's a reminder for us, especially when things don't go our way, that we should stay grateful and trust that God knows best. The promised Messiah alayhi salam also taught that we shouldn't rely too much on people or worldly things. In one instance, when a doctor confidently claimed he could cure him quickly, the promised Messiah alayhi salam refused treatment, reminding everyone that true healing comes from God, not human certainty. Another important message for young people today was about avoiding modern forms of shirk, like putting people on a pedestal. The promised Messiah alayhi salam stopped others from touching his feet or showing excessive praise, explaining that respect should never turn into worship. Even with things like photos, the message was about intention. Taking pictures for memories is fine, but treating images like they have power or giving them special status crosses the line.
इस्लाम ने तमाम लगव काम और ऐसे काम जो शिर्क के मुअय्यद हैं हराम किए हैं, ना ऐसे काम जो इंसानी इल्म को तरक्की देते और अमराज की शनाख्त का ज़रिया ठहरते और अहले फरासत को हिदायत देने से करीब कर देते हैं। लेकिन बाईं हमा मैं हरगिज़ पसंद नहीं करता कि मेरी जमात के लोग बग़ैर ऐसी ज़रूरत के जो कि मुज़तर करती है वो मेरी फ़ोटो को आम तौर पर शाया करना अपना कसब और पेशा बना लें। नेक मकसद हो तो ठीक है, कमाने का ज़रिया ना बना लो इनको तस्वीरों को, क्योंकि इसी तरह रफ्ता दफ्ता बिदात पैदा हो जाती हैं और शिरक तक पहुँचती हैं। इसलिए मैं अपनी जमात को इस जगह भी नसीहत करता हूँ कि जहाँ तक उनके लिए मुमकिन हो ऐसे कामों से दस्तकश रहें। बाज़ साहिबों के मैंने कार्ड देखे हैं और उनकी पुश्त के किनारे पर अपनी तस्वीर देखी है। मैं ऐसी इशाअत का सख्त मुखालिफ हूँ और मैं नहीं चाहता कि कोई शख्स हमारी जमात में से ऐसे काम का मुर्तकिब हो। और मैं उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि जो शख्स मेरे नसाए को अज़मत और इज़्ज़त की नज़र से देखता है और मेरा सच्चा पैराव है, वो इस हुक्म के बाद ऐसे कामों से दस्तकश रहेगा, वरना वो मेरी हिदायतों के बरखिलाफ़ अपने तईं चलाता है और शरीयत की राह में गुस्ताखी से कदम रखता है।
Beloved Hazur also highlighted something simple but powerful. When someone helps you, don't just thank them. Thank Allah first, because everything ultimately comes from Him. Finally, Hazur reminded us that the promised Messiah alayhi salam dedicated his life to bring the world together under the belief in one God, and that his mission continues today. Hazur ended by urging prayers for the world, especially with rising global tensions, reminding us that young people also have a role to play through prayer, character, and spreading peace. 3 key takeaways. 1. Trust God in every situation, even when life feels unfair or difficult. 2. Don't put people or things above God. Respect is good, but worship is only for Allah. 3. Always thank Allah first, because every blessing comes from Him.
Jazakallah for that summary. As always, you can watch the full Friday sermon, which is available on the MTA Online 1 YouTube channel or the MTA app, available in multiple languages.
We now turn to the beauty of nature, a reminder of the calm and balance our world can offer.
Yes, our next story takes us to a beautiful spot in West Africa, where we explore a well-known monkey park.
A place surrounded by lush greenery and coastal views, offering a peaceful escape and a chance to connect with nature. Let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sadia Aisha Koroma. Today we are here at Bijilo Monkey Park. I want to give you a short tour about the park. This forest is very special because it protects many different plants and animals. The trees here help clean the air and give shade to animals and visitors. They are very curious and sometimes come close to visitors. Now let's learn about these monkeys from the tour guide.
We have 3 different types of monkeys, but 2 are the main species. The green vervet monkeys and the western red colobus. They are the two main types. But locally, they are called green and red monkeys. Visitors are always advised to try to recognize them by calling them green and red monkeys because it's easy to remember. These two crossbreed, and they produce a hybrid one. The hybrid is the third one, and it is a subspecies from green and red. So we have them in the park, and this is the only park in the whole Gambia and in West Africa where research have ever proven out that it's happening in the wild. Two different types of monkey crossbreed.
Bijilo Park is home to many animals, not only monkeys. There are birds and some small reptiles living in the forest. The trees here can grow very tall and some are many years old. Forests like this are important because they protect nature and give animals a safe home.
Okay, we also have nice colorful birds. We have up to 154 different bird species. Most of the bird species we have in this park are local species. Therefore, they are birds of the Gambia and therefore they are native and indigenous to this park. But we have few additional bird species which are foreign ones. Some migrate from Europe, Asia, South Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, other part of the world. Especially when those countries are in winter time, most of them will not be able to survive in those weather conditions. They have to migrate to some tropical parts of Africa, including Gambia, summertime they return.
I hope you enjoy exploring with me today. Thank you for joining my adventure. Until we meet again.
Jazakallah for that segment. It's amazing to see such beautiful parts of the world and the wildlife they're home to.
Absolutely, Nasser. It's a great reminder of how diverse and fascinating our world really is.
But unfortunately, we have come to the end of this week's episode. If you've enjoyed today's stories and features, be sure to join us next week as we bring you more highlights from all around the world.
And if you would like to watch this episode again or catch up on any that you've missed, head over to the MTA News channel on YouTube or visit the MTA app.
You can also follow us on Instagram at RoundUpMTA for extra clips and daily news updates.
And if you have any feedback or ideas for future stories, you can send them through the MTA app or email us at roundup@mta.tv.
And as always, we'll be back next week with more stories and news from all around the world. But until then,
Assalamu alaikum.
I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call. Thy may seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call. Thy may seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call, I shall call. Thy may seek to reach all the corners of the earth.